Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Emmanuel, and if you struggle with watching porn, or if you know someone who struggles with watching porn, this is the right podcast for you. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to dive into step number 1 of 7 steps on how to gain freedom from porn. And that first step is why you need a teammate and why you can't beat this problem on your own. So before I even dive into that though, I just want to go over something. If you were fatty and you got the best trainer, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger training you, you got a membership to Lifetime Fitness, you have a personal chef making you all the meals, but you don't eat the food and you don't go to the gym and you don't listen to the instruction, it doesn't matter. It's not going to make any difference. And it's the exact same thing here. I'm going to teach you the steps that you need to take, but if you are not willing to take those steps, it is not going to matter. So I want to say that because I've worked with people before where they're like, yeah, I'm really serious. But then it's like they listen and they're like shaking their head. That's great. But then their actions don't speak louder than their words. You know, they're all talk, they're no action. So what I always like to start off with is this. What was that moment where the straw broke the camel's back for you? And what I mean by that is this. Ever since you started watching porn, you've wanted to quit. But maybe oh God, I want to quit. I'm so serious. But you never really took any action. Well, something happened where you said, you know, I can no longer just say I want to quit. I'm actually going to start taking the steps to start quitting. And that's why you're here right now. Otherwise, you'd just be like, oh, okay, I'm quitting, God, sorry. And then you just go do it again. But no, you're actually taking steps forward towards a solution. So I want you to truly take out pen, paper, grab your notes tab, whatever, and write down what was that moment where the straw broke the camel's back, where you just said, no more can I just keep doing what I've been doing? Because if what you were doing worked, you would not be here right now. And so one of the biggest things with that is in this first step, I'm going to talk about the importance of a teammate and the difference between a teammate and an accountability partner and a whole bunch of other things. But the reason why this is so important is the devil is going to start whispering lies into your ear. You can do this alone. You don't need to listen to this guy. You know what? Just watch porn less. But the point is that the devil is called the great deceiver. And what he's going to want you to do is to say, you know what? Come on, come back. You need to have a stop point where you say, you know, I can no longer listen to these lies of the devil. And I need you to write that down. What was that moment that the straw broke the camel's back? So write that down. And if what you were doing worked, you wouldn't be here right now. So you know that you need to start taking action. That's what we're going to dive into right now. So the first thing I always say is you cannot beat this on your own. If you could have beat this on your own, you would have beat it a long time ago. The only thing that you can beat on your own is your meat, okay? So you need to have a teammate in your corner. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No one beats this thing on their own. You need to have a teammate. Now, let's talk about this though. What's the difference between an accountability partner and a teammate? An accountability partner is, you know, somebody else who's struggling with porn, and you say, oh, please help me stop watching porn. I'm so serious about not watching porn. And they're like, oh, I'm so serious. Let's keep each other accountable. Yeah, great. And what do you guys do? You go back home, you jerk off, you watch porn, and then you come back and you say, oh, brother in Christ, I have fallen. I'm so sorry. And they say, oh, brother in Christ, I've also stumbled. Oh, or, you know, one person stumbles and they say, the other person didn't. They say, hey, don't do that again. Okay, great. Yeah, they already know that. Okay. So an accountability partner, those relationships, the way that they're structured just doesn't work. What you need is a teammate. A teammate is someone who is invested in you overcoming this. It's not just somebody who, I kind of care if you don't watch porn, I kind of don't care. It needs to be someone that's actually serious about you overcoming this. And what I always recommend is if you are married or in a relationship, that is a serious relationship, not like you started dating them yesterday, a serious relationship, that is going to be the person that you need to be talking to, because really it's the person in your life who cares about you the most, that you're spending the most time with, because you need to be able to talk to someone on a consistent daily basis. Not someone, hey, I have my, old pastor who I see once every 6 months and I give him an update through, snail mail or something. That is not going to work. It needs to be the person that's most invested in your life. So if you are married, if you are in a serious relationship, that is your wife, that is your girlfriend. Now, if you are single, that is the person that you are closest with, who you are in daily contact with. You probably have roommates. It means you're probably in college or you're out of college or whatever, but you're probably living with other people. You probably have a person that you're most connected to. That needs to be your teammate. If you are a kid, this is your parent. This is a trusted adult. someone that you can work through this with. Now, one of the things that people often say is, well, my problem is I'm not close to anyone. Well, that's the problem, right? You need to have a team around you and you need to be vulnerable. If you have nobody around you, if there's nobody in your life that you're close to, there's your sign. That's a problem. That's an issue. You need to have someone that you can go to, that you can talk to. And if you don't have someone, then you need to get out of your little shell, stop being afraid, and go talk. Because I'm telling you, the devil, one of his best lies that he uses on you is that, oh, no one would love you. No one would care about you. You're the only person in the entire world who watches porn. What a weirdo. Dude, that's a lie. 91.5% of men between the ages of 18 to 73 watch porn in the last month. You ain't alone. Everybody out there is pretty much watching it. You are strong for standing up to this thing. You are bold for standing up to this thing. And when you stand up and when you are bold for it, what happens is other people, they're inspired by that. They go, oh my goodness, that's amazing. When I started speaking out about our journey and what we were doing, so many people came up to me and were like, wow, this is amazing. This is so cool. This is awesome. You're inspiring me and I'm going to stand up to this. And then they inspired me back. And then I started inspiring more people and it just keeps paying itself forward. But people want to help you. People love you. And this is a really, really important thing that I need to share with you. And we're going to dive into this here in a next section. But what you're talking to your teammate about is not about porn. Porn is a problem in your life, but it's not the real problem that needs to get handled. And we're going to talk about that much later. But in short, you need to be talking about the pain that's going on in your life. And we're going to talk about a bunch of that stuff here, like I said, in just a minute. But it's not about porn. It's not about, hey, I need to tell them exactly what videos I watched and exactly how long it was and exactly. No, if this is your spouse, if this is, your person that you're dating, you need to let them know, hey, I watch porn and I need help stopping and all that good stuff, right? And if you need help actually having those conversations, go to teamvulnerable.com. We have all types of resources, all types of different ways that we can help. But you need to share that. But it's not about just, hey, here's my top 15 genres or here's my top 50 porn stars. No, it's about why am I feeling that I need to go to this thing in the first place? Because I want you to write something down. Porn is nothing but a pain reliever. Write that down. Porn is nothing but a pain reliever. The real question becomes, what pain are you trying to soothe? And that's what we're going to get into here in a later section. But you need a teammate to be able to work through this thing with. Not a therapist, not a person you talk to every 6 months or whatever, because these people aren't invested in your life. They don't really care. You're not able to talk to them on a daily basis. No, you need to be able to talk to them pretty darn quickly and in a pinch and all these different things, because you need to understand what's going on. And then we need to start handling our problems like a man and not like a boy who runs away. Like I said, I'll talk about that here in a little bit, but that's the first thing you need to understand. This step one is very simple. You need to have a teammate. If you could have beat this on your own, you would have beat this thing a long time ago. The only thing you can beat on your own is your meat, right? The lie of the devil that you need to understand is that you're alone, no one will love you, no one will care about you. Dude, stop it. Stop it. That is so untrue. That is a lie. And if you keep buying into these lies, what happens to you? Well, I become more isolated. I become more anxious, more paranoid. I lose more money on this, more focus on this, more time on this, more everything on this. Guys, when people stop watching porn, their mood improves, their relationships improve. Oftentimes they make more money. Why do they make more money? Well, they're more focused. They're clearer in their vision. Their self-esteem goes up. Their confidence goes up. So they're more willing to go for these things. It's always funny because people all the time will tell me, oh, porn doesn't cost me anything. It's free. But then it's like, well, show me your bank account. How much you got? Well, I'm kind of broke as a joke. I don't love my job. I hate my life. I don't make any money and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay. Yeah. Porn is one of the most expensive drugs in the entire world. So you need to stop buying into these lies. You've bought into them for long enough. You followed Satan with whatever he's been telling you. Satan is called the great deceiver. He's been deceiving you for far too long. Now you have to go, okay, I've listened to Satan. It leads me down a path of death and destruction. I can keep going that way. You know where it leads. So you've already made that choice. That's why I had you write down what was the straw that broke the camel's back. Or you can say, you know what? I'm a follower of Christ. The Lord loves me. He doesn't hate me like the devil is trying to destroy me. No, he wants to use me for his glory, for his kingdom, for a better purpose. He wants me to have the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. He wants me to have all these things. And you can have all these things, but you need to follow what the Lord lays out for you. And if you're not a Christian, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still the same principles. You know that this evil energy has been leading you down the wrong way, and there is a good energy, right? Whether you want to call it or not, whatever you call it, right? You need to stop going down that path of death and destruction. You need to follow the Lord, or that good energy, whatever you want to call it, and go down this way. So we went over that first step, why you need a teammate. Now it's time to get into the second step. But before we do that, please subscribe, like, follow, comment on these videos, please, 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 because that helps us get this message out to more and more people and helps save marriages, helps prevent rapes, suicides. Guys, you say, oh, rape, suicide, how is it? Guys, the second we started speaking out on this, people were reaching out to us. You saved my marriage. Hey, I was going to kill myself until I heard this video. Hey, I was going to commit some crimes, but I'm no longer going to do that. Guys, it's changing the world by just clicking a button. So click that button, please, because this gets it out to more and more people. So if you're struggling with porn, or you know someone who's struggling with porn, get this episode out to them, because I can guarantee we all know people who are struggling with porn, so send it to them. Even if it's as a joke. Hey, I sent this to you a joke, whatever. Well, maybe they're going to listen to it. Maybe it changes their lives. Maybe that changes the next person's lives, their kids' lives, and that next generation, because you were willing to have that faith of a mustard seed. So please, like, subscribe, comment, share, follow, all those good stuff. And I will go ahead and I'll see you in that next video where we're going to go over step number 2, cleaning house. I'll see you there.